Last night when I went to bed, I was only 5'2", and ever since I woke up this morning at 6'5", I've been hitting my head on everything. That's what goes through my mind. But instead, I just say thanks. But that whole speech goes through my mind.
I think it would be funny if you
I should.
one
Just
of
say
those
it.
days say, "This is what happened."
Yeah. I was 5'2" when I went to bed last night. I woke up at 6'5". I hit my head on
And I'm
everything.
not used to it. I mean,
I'm glad you said something.
we were going through TSA coming from overseas, and the guy said, "Do you have anything to declare?" I said, "Yes, I'm an American."
Yeah, that was to the customs agent.
And he looked at me like he didn't know what to say.
Yeah, he didn't say anything.
He probably thought, should I say something and get embroiled with this woman?
But I was standing alongside of her and I says, we have nothing to declare. It's nothing.
Did
I
you?
mean, I
Okay.
declared something.
Yeah. Were you anywhere near when I was telling about a joke I told your mother on the phone a couple weeks before she died?
No.
So I called my parents, and they were at your mother's house. And so I took the opportunity to talk to your mother, which I did at least once a week. Just love talking with her. And in the course of conversation, it was a perfect segue into a joke. I said, well, Grandma, you know, there was trouble over here at the St. Paul Cathedral over the weekend. Oh? I said, yeah, there was a streaker in the church. Oh? I said, yeah, it was quite a commotion until they finally caught him by the organ. And she gave out a laugh, you know.
Yeah.
And the more she laughed at herself. And then she got into the...
Yeah. I always
And then she
tried to
said-
get
Yeah.
that, you know.
I was so proud of myself. That's the last conversation I had with her.
Oh,
And when you laughed just now, big, you sounded like the one.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She had quite a, I guess, she was my mother. I thought she was the most boring person in the world. She wasn't my mother. But she must have had a good sense of humor because all of us ended up with it.
She really did. I was always amazed at why she was so fascinated with the weather. In college one time,
Yeah. Me too.
Grandpa said, if you want to come out and visit us, we'll pay for the ticket. I said, okay, you're on. So we did. So I flew out here, and I spent, a few days with her. Maybe a week, I don't know. And we were sitting at the table over here on 154 North Street, just chatting. And he said, whatever it was, the day of the week that they had done something, gone and seen somebody, talked to somebody. And she said, no, I don't think it was. I think it was on whatever day. No, Madeline, it was whatever day. She got up, marched into the bedroom where she had that poster board, and she had drawn a calendar on there. And every day of the week, she'd put the weather down.
Yeah.
And she went in there and corrected him, not by she had written the date what they had done, whatever activity. No, honey, the weather was such and such and such on that day. And see, it says right here, the weather was such and such and such. That's the day.
Yeah.
My
I
goodness.
thought that same thing. I mean, what is, it rained
She had a fascination with it.
last Tuesday of last week. It was raining.
She knew
And
all
I
that.
thought,
When she
So?
yeah.
does it really? I don't know,
When
but I'm not going to say anything about it.
When she passed away, we came across all of her diaries and stuff, and one was just
Nothing.
a bunch of weather.
Weather,
And numbers,
yeah.
and all that she wrote down the weather, so we got rid of it. And I thought, later on, maybe I should have saved it, and I could have corrected these weather people.
You probably could have submitted it to the whatever weather authority, and they could have, these records are better than ours.
Yeah, that's what she did.
So we have meteorology underneath our
Yeah.
Must be. I don't really pay too much.
She really did. She tracked events by the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could ask her what happened on such and such a day. Oh, that day it rained and it was such and such, and could have given you a history of the
Yeah,
day.
they come out with a new thing in Washington D.C. about something, or it was raining that day, or no, it was sunshine.
She would know.
And yeah, I always wondered the same thing. I mean, it's like, well, to each their own.
Oh, yeah.
Really, it is to each their
I
own.
thought it was interesting, yeah.
But the diary that I've kept, it had pictures from the paper of one about a hurricane, and the one the lady had babies 2 weeks apart, and what Daddy did, and we were able to pay off a bill because he sold this or he worked extra hours, and you know, and how their struggles raising the kids, and so was sick, and all that. It's or went to somebody's wedding and whatever, you know. It's just a little bit of a life story, but I thought it was quite interesting.
That weather stuff probably would have been fun to look back. Another thing she did too, Grandpa would be talking, telling a story, and she's in the background muttering, correcting, or commenting to nobody but herself.
Oh,
Oh, no,
I don't remember.
oh, she did it a lot, yeah. Ice cream, though, she never turned it down.
Used to make my dad so mad. When she'd buy ice cream, she always took out a scoop of ice cream from the ice cream container and put it back in the freezer. It just made my dad,
Why?
hey, you should do that to everything. You always got to get a scoop of ice cream out of this new thing of ice cream. Look what she did, you know. And
Well,
there's a
it's kind of
spoon.
there to eat,
There
right?
is a spoon of ice cream taken out. And my dad, he always complained about Mom, your grandpa, my parents, spending so much money on groceries. I mean, there are 7 kids to feed, and he complained that she spent too much money on groceries. So one day she said, okay, you're going to go out and buy groceries. Well, he came home with hard salami and stink cheese and pickled pig's feet.
Weird stuff to eat.
Weird stuff that he liked. And there wasn't really much there. He never complained about the groceries again, but it was so funny. You know, stink cheese and salami and
Did he do the pickled pig's feet?
pickled pig's feet.
My dad used to make those. And then he'd put them in the 2-gallon ice cream tubs that are kind of clear, sort of opaque. So I'd come home, throw open the refrigerator, and there right at face levels a bunch of pig's feet suspended in gel. And then he'd get them out and he'd eat them, and he'd have that gel all over his fingers, his mouth would just glisten. Just having a ball eating pig's feet.
That was his thing.
I remember one time he said he wanted beef heart. He just he wanted beef heart. So he went up and bought one, brought on Madeline, fix this for him. He liked to eat organs. He did.
Oh my word. Oh, I tried to buy stink cheese once, and it was the nastiest. Oh, but he loved it. He loved it. It's stinky and ugh. Oh, horrible taste. And in the spring, he would get some horseradish, the real stuff. And he would start eating it, and his face would get red, his eyes would start to water, his nose would run, and he'd go, oh, there, I'm ready for the spring. You cleared out my head.
Yeah, that's funny. One of the when
Okay, stink cheese. But what kind of cheese is that?
It's Limburger.
Okay.
Oh, Limburger. Yeah, Daddy loved things like that. we'd go for a ride. All 7 of us pile in the car and we'd drive to Worcester. And we'd go and get Jew bread and cream cheese. That was our treat.
Any idea what Jew bread is?
No.
Well, in Worcester there was a street that had a bunch of Jewish delis. So it's black rye. I mean, dark
Black
rye. The most wonderful cream cheese. And they called it Jew bread and cream cheese.
So pretty much pure
Rye bread, yeah. Just
Yeah.
black as night.
And when we went all of us would pile in the car. We wouldn't even fight over what window we're going to get, and we'd stop someplace and get an ice cream cone. So I still remember that. It was the neatest thing.
I don't think I had ever eaten, I was a kid, I don't think I'd ever eaten cream cheese before. And we're sitting there in the house on North Street, and all of a sudden your dad said, oh, I want some Jew. Oh, you remember him doing it? Oh, I want some Jew bread and cream cheese. Oh, that'd be good. Paul does that too, by the way. You go over there and mention to him, hey, you remember going getting Jew bread and cream cheese? I'll bet he'll go, oh. I told him one time I was down there visiting him. I said, of all your brothers, you most have the mannerisms of your father. And he looked at me like, what? Just like his dad would. I remember Grandpa would go to the doctor when he lived in Spencer. He'd come back from the doctor and he'd tell us all, doctor told me I was a ticking time bomb. Oh yeah, something was going to kill him, just any minute now. He seemed to like that news. You know what my brother did? Your dad would get a prescription. And then he had this book. And he'd flip through to that RX, that medicine, and find all the side effects of it, and he'd get a few. And my brother got so sick of that, he stole that book and threw it away. As he would. Oh, new medication. Oh, side effect is this, and then pretty soon, oh, I got that side effect. So my brother just stole the book and threw it away.
I heard that Mom got sick of it too, so she started getting rid of them when they came in the mail. That she wouldn't let him look through because he always ordered something.
Oh dear.
And it's like Daddy was really into pills, I guess. Mom wasn't, so I was around my mom more than my dad, and I don't like pills.
Was there much left over there when you guys were cleaning the house?
Who was telling me? Paul was telling me that after he died, there was, Claire, a huge chest full of all these medicines that he didn't use. Mom must have taken care of that because I guess I was oblivious to all this stuff. But we had a Sunday dinner. Mom would put in a roast in the oven before we went to Sunday school. And when we got home from Sunday school, we would have a big dinner. We even had dessert on Sunday. One day, Mom made some Jell-O. This great big bowl of wonderful strawberry Jell-O in the middle of the table. And I think I had a friend over or something, and my dad said, I can't stand it anymore. I have to do this. And he took his hand and right in the middle of that Jell-O and squished it around. And my friend was,
I could see it.
what?
You know what else he did to me?
What did he do?
Did you ever go to Stubbs Ranch Kitchen in Spencer?
I think so.
Probably did if you were out there. Anyway, it was a restaurant in town. And for dessert, they always gave you the choice of rainbow sherbet or some other ice cream. And I would always get rainbow sherbet. Well, we had eaten and we were sitting there talking. He looked at me and said, Craig, have you ever invented anything? And I'm like, 15. I said, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I had an idea for a toothpaste dispenser. Oh, and he started asking me all these questions. Got a napkin, pen. Do you ever think about patenting that? And, no, I don't know. How do you patent stuff? Just talking. I didn't know it. He got me so engaged in this conversation that they brought my rainbow sherbet. He reached right in front of my face, and ate it in front of me. And then afterwards, after I was done talking, I said, "Did they bring dessert yet?" "Yeah, they did." And I said, "Where's mine?" And I looked over. He was going. I was kind of mad at him actually, but he thought that was so funny.
Oh, he used to ask Daddy would want to go someplace and the kids would want to go with him, and Daddy said, "Okay, do you want to go crazy?" And they'd want to go with him. But I was about 10 or so, and somebody thought my dad was my brother. I was totally humiliated and insulted that anyone would think that my dad was my brother of all the awful things in the world. Because he was quite young. By the time he was 30, he had 7 kids.
Yeah.
But somebody
When
thought
she
he
asked
was...
about memories, I thought of one. I didn't want to bring the mood down, but I remember when your father died, and it was January, and your mother had a darker colored scarf over her head, and we all arrived at the cemetery, and she was alone, and she went up to the casket and gently run her fingertips on the casket as she walked up towards the head where his head would be. And you know, you didn't see her cry a lot, but she was crying, you know, sniffling and that kind of thing. And I thought, on the one hand, that's so sad, but on the other hand, they had known each other since they were kids. Yeah, and what a feeling that must be for her, you know. They've known each other that long.
She saw my dad when she was 11. She decided that was her man. But my dad thought she was the ugliest thing and the worst pest, the most horrible female, whatever. He did everything to get rid of her, but it didn't work. When she was 16, she went away for the summer. He missed her. And when she came back after being gone for the whole summer, he just fell over head and heels and he couldn't see enough of her. They got married the day after she graduated from high school. And they were married 59 and a half years. So she knew my dad since she was 11. Boy, she didn't let him go. This tall, gangly guy, the best thing that ever happened to her. But it was so funny. My dad, the way my dad told her, ugly, ugly. I tried to get rid of her.
Oh dear, he might have been a
But he did pull some funny things over the years.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Things
Did you ever go out on his boat out on the canal?
No. But he did have a kind of a sense of humor, because I called him to ask permission to marry Ruth, and he says, "Well, I want your daughter's hand in marriage." He says, "Why?" And I says, "Well, because I'm in love with her." And he says, "You want her hand?" "No. You got to take all of her. You got to take all of her, not just her hand." And
You met him before then, I believe.
yeah.
There was an instant bond between Jim and my dad.
First time
They
that
both hated
we were there,
casseroles.
You guys
eyeball to eyeball. We spent an hour talking about how much we hated casseroles. And I'm not kidding. I mean, it says, "You hate." Hey, you're my boy. I hate casseroles too, but
But I had to eat them or I'd
whatever
go starving.
Madeline makes, you eat it. That's it. And yeah, true enough.
Oh yeah.
And I don't, and then Ruth, I mean, if she wanted to go out to eat after we got married, she said, "Oh, I got a tuna fish casserole," and I said, we're gonna go out to eat."
But after a while, that got old, and I can't cook that anymore. So I haven't made it.
I don't think I want to eat tuna fish casserole.
Yeah.
Oh, but they're so good. We used to go to these big meetings, fellowship meetings, and make us big, huge tuna fish casserole. All the best parts, potato chips on the top. But yeah,
I think I probably have had tuna fish casserole.
it's not bad.
You know, we used to make, Roger and Carol Catherine were super, super close friends. In fact, when Mom and Dad got married, Carol's parents kind of took them in, you know, and so we've all known each other since forever. And Sunday nights, when we all still had Sunday night services, one week we'd go to their house, the next week they'd come to our house, you know, and either have cold cuts, you know, like cotto salami and an RC cola, potato chips, wavy potato chips with that ranch, not ranch, but sour cream and onion dip. Or, usually if it was at our house, Mom would take some cans of Spam, kind of cube them up, kind of coarse, not really grind it, mix it with cream of mushroom soup, onion, dice up some onion, and then put that open face on a hamburger bun with some cheese on the top and broil it. I've had that as an adult. I did not like it. But as a kid, I guess that's what they gave me, and I was hungry Sunday night, so I ate some.
I've heard of that. Well, my mom used to make spam, cut them in with mayonnaise and not chili, relish and onions, and mix it all up and make sandwiches. And we loved that. I've fixed it a few times. You know, that's the one state in the United States that sells the most spam. Hawaii. I used to have a spam carving.
Yeah, they have a spam carving competition in Hawaii. Where you put them cans of spam together and create something like a horse or yeah.
Oh, but anyway, this is the history of your family.
Of course, they have other stuff over there too. You know, them chickens are running all around the place, and this guy over there, he says, "What you want to do? You take a rock, and you take one of our chickens, and you throw both of them in a pot of boiling water for about 10 minutes." And then you take the chicken out of the pot and the rock out of the pot, and you eat the rock, not the chicken.
I can remember one sad thing in my life is Charlene Bill. My first husband, we divorced when Charlene was 12. And my dad was the type of a guy, we grew up in the era that if a woman was divorced, he would walk across the street and go around. He would not go near. Yeah. So divorce, well, it's foreign to me, but it happened. And when I told my mom that dad. And he was quite adamant about divorce, and I liked this guy from Cuba or something. He had a fit because he didn't believe in other people or whatever. Just thought it was terrible. But other than that, there was, it was a great day. But I disappointed him, made him cry.
Who are you? How I interpreted that?
How do you forgive What?
I interpreted that as you.
Yeah, he tried to turn it around about what happened at church. Nothing, church didn't have anything to do with it, but he tried to bring that into it somehow, but it never stuck. But other than that, he just cried for a week. And later on, my mom says, but I liked him. It made me feel even bad. Oh, anyway. But that was the only sad time.